You train back twice a week. You do your rows, your pull-downs, all the exercises everyone tells you to do. But when you look in the mirror, your back is still flat. Meanwhile, your arms are pumped to the moon, and your biceps are screaming. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. Here's the thing. Your back doesn't suck because you're weak, or because you have bad genetics. Your back sucks because nobody ever taught you how to actually pull. And I don't mean just bending your arms and hoping for the best. I mean really pull, the way your lats are designed to work. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why your back workouts have been a waste of time, and more importantly, how to fix it today. I'm talking about the actual pulling mechanics that nobody explains. The cue that finally made everything click for me after 2 years of training like an idiot. And the 3 exercises you should be doing if you want to actually build your back instead of just giving yourself an arm workout. But before we get into the exercises, we need to talk about what pulling actually means, because this is where 90% of people get it wrong. And once you understand this one concept, everything else is going to make sense. Imagine you're trying to elbow someone standing behind you. Not punch them, elbow them. Your arm moves backward from your shoulder, right? That's a pull. Now imagine you're doing a bicep curl. Your hand moves toward your shoulder, but your elbow stays in basically the same spot. That's an arm bend. And if you're doing back exercises that feel like arm exercises, congratulations. You've been doing bicep curls with worse leverage this whole time. When you pull properly, the first thing that moves isn't your hand. It's your shoulder blade. Your shoulder blade slides backward toward your spine. Think about it like this. If your shoulder blades could kiss each other, that's what they're trying to do. And only after that movement starts do your arms begin to bend. I spent my first 2 years in the gym doing barbell rows and feeling absolutely nothing in my back. My biceps would be destroyed, my forearms would be pumped, but my lats, nothing. I remember looking at guys with thick backs and thinking I just had bad genetics. Turns out, I was literally just doing a weird bent-over curl. I was pulling the bar to my stomach with my arms while my back just sat there like a passenger on a road trip. The moment it clicked for me was when my friend told me to do a row, but keep my arms completely loose, like dead weight hanging from my shoulders. Just focus on pulling my elbows back. Suddenly, I felt muscles I didn't even know I had. It was like my entire back woke up for the first time. And before you say, "But I do feel my back working," let me ask you this. Do you feel your back more than your arms? Because if your biceps are the first thing to get tired, if your forearms are giving out, if you feel more pump in your arms than your back, then no, you're not actually pulling. You're arm bending with back exercises. Here's what nobody tells you. Your biceps are always going to try to take over. They're smaller muscles. They're easier for your nervous system to activate. And they're right there in front where you can see them. Your brain defaults to using them because it's the path of least resistance. But your lats are massive. They're one of the biggest muscle groups in your entire body. When you actually use them, they should dominate the movement. Here's how you know if you can actually activate your lats. Hang from a pull-up bar or just raise your arm straight up. Now, without bending your arm at all, try to pull your arm down slightly. Feel that muscle on the side of your back engage? That's your lat. That's what should be doing the work. If you can't feel that, we need to fix your mind-muscle connection before we even worry about exercises. Now that you understand what pulling actually is, let me show you the 3 exercises that will teach your body how to do it properly. First exercise, straight arm pull down. This is the exercise that teaches you what a lat contraction actually feels like. You stand in front of a cable machine, grab the bar with straight arms, and pull the bar down to your thighs while keeping your arms completely straight. No elbow bend at all. 0. The only thing that moves is your shoulder. Your arms are just ropes attached to your hands. The bar comes down because your lats are pulling your entire arm backward from the shoulder joint. 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps. Lightweight. I'm talking embarrassingly light. If anyone can see how much weight you're using, it's probably too heavy. And I already know what you're thinking. But bro, straight arm pull downs are an isolation exercise. I want compound movements for mass. Dude, shut up. You can't even feel your lats contract yet. You need to learn to walk before you try to sprint. This exercise is teaching your nervous system how to activate the right muscles. Consider it your back's training wheels. Second exercise, chest-supported rows. Now, I can hear the ego cracking from here. I can row way more weight standing up. Yeah, and you're also using your lower back, your momentum, and everything except your actual lats to move that weight. Chest-supported rows remove all of that. You lie face down on an inclined bench. Let your arms hang completely loose, and then you pull. But here's the critical part. You pull your elbows back toward your hips, not your hands up toward your chest. Your hands are just hooks. Your elbows are arrows pointing behind you. Think about elbowing someone standing behind the bench. 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. And here's where it gets humbling. You're probably going to use like 40% of what you normally row. Maybe less. I went from rowing 225 for reps standing up to struggling with 115 on chest-supported rows when I first tried to do them properly. My ego was shattered, but my back finally started growing. Third exercise, pull-up negatives. If you can't do pull-ups yet, this is how you build them. But more importantly, this is how you learn to pull with your back instead of your arms. Jump up to the top position of a pull-up. Now, lower yourself down as slowly as possible, taking at least 5 to 7 seconds. But here's the key. As you lower, focus on keeping your shoulder blades pulled back and down. Don't let your shoulders rise up to your ears. The second your shoulders shrug up, your lats disengage and your arms take over. Do 3 sets of as many quality negatives as you can. Quality means controlled. 5 seconds minimum. Shoulder blades engaged the whole time. The second you start dropping fast, the set is over. Now, these 3 exercises will teach you how to pull, but if you're still making these mistakes, you're going to waste your time anyway. First mistake, you're pulling to the wrong place. On rows, most people pull the weight up toward their chest or their neck. Wrong. You want to pull to your lower rib cage, right around your belly button area. This keeps your elbows tucked closer to your body, which keeps the tension on your lats instead of your rear delts and traps. Think about pulling the weight into your hip pocket. Your elbow should travel back in a fairly straight line toward your hip. If your elbow is flaring out to the side, like you're doing a reverse fly, you're not rowing. You're doing something else entirely. Second mistake. You're not actually using a full range of motion. And no, I'm not talking about the typical go deeper advice. I'm talking about the stretch at the bottom. Most people pull the weight, lower it like halfway, and immediately pull again. They never let their shoulder blades spread apart at the bottom. The stretch position is where your lats are longest, and that's actually where a lot of muscle growth happens. If you're never getting into that stretched position, you're leaving gains on the table. On every row and every pull down, let your shoulder blades spread apart at the bottom. Feel that stretch on the sides of your back. Then pull them back together. That's the full range of motion. Third mistake, and this is probably the biggest one. You're using too much weight. I know. You want to be strong. You want to impress people. I get it. I was the same way. I was loading up the cable row machine with the entire stack, doing these weird, jerky reps, feeling like a beast. Meanwhile, my back looked like a cutting board. Here's what I did that actually worked. I dropped the weight by 40%. Yes, 40%. And I focused on 3 things. 1, pulling with my elbows, not my hands. 2, going through the full range of motion with that stretch at the bottom. 3. Squeezing my shoulder blades together at the top for a full second. Suddenly, every set felt harder than my heavy sets ever did, and my back started growing. Don't add weight until you can do all your reps with perfect form and you can genuinely feel your lats doing the work. If you're not sure, you're not ready. I'd rather see you do 3 sets of 10 with 95 pounds and actually build your back than 3 sets of 5 with 185 and build nothing but your ego. And here's something nobody talks about. Sometimes your back isn't growing because you're training it too heavy and too often. If you're doing heavy rows and pull downs 4 times a week, your back never recovers. Your muscles grow during rest, not during the workout. 2 dedicated back sessions per week is plenty. 3 if you're more advanced. Anything more, and you're just spinning your wheels. So those are the exercises and the mistakes. But exercises are only like 60% of the equation. The other 40% comes down to these things most people completely ignore. Real quick, let's talk about nutrition because your back is one of the biggest muscle groups in your body. If you're not eating enough protein, it doesn't matter how perfect your form is. You need at least 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, spread across 3 to 5 meals. Your back needs that protein to rebuild after you actually start training it properly. Sleep. I'm not going to lecture you for 5 minutes about sleep hygiene. Just know that your back grows when you sleep, not when you train. 7 to 9 hours. That's the range. If you're consistently getting less, your results are going to be slower. It's not complicated. Here's something practical. If your grip gives out before your back does, use straps. I don't care what old school gym bros say about straps being cheating. If your forearms are failing on rep 8, but your back could do 12, you're limiting your back growth because you're worried about what someone might think. Use the straps. Build your back. Your forearms will catch up. Train your back twice a week. That's it. Monday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Friday. Whatever works for you. 2 solid sessions where you focus on quality over weight. Each session should have about 9 to 12 total working sets for your back. That's all you need. As for how long until you see results, if you start applying everything in this video today, you should start feeling the difference immediately. Like next workout. You'll actually feel your back working. As for visible changes, give it 8 to 12 weeks of consistent training. That's 2 to 3 months. No, not 2 weeks. Not 1 month. 2 to 3 months of doing this right. And look, I know that sounds like forever when you want results now. But think about it this way. You've probably been training your back wrong for way longer than 3 months. Another 3 months doing it right is nothing. And the difference between a back that's been trained properly for 3 months versus one that's been flailing around with bad form for a year, night and day. Remember at the start when I said your back sucks because you can't pull properly? Well, now you can pull properly. The one thing I want you to remember from this entire video is this. Your elbow moves backward, not your hand moves forward. That's a pull. Everything else, the exercises, the form cues, the mistakes, they all come back to that one concept. If you can master that, your back will finally start growing. Here's the truth though. Most people are going to watch this video, nod their head, and then go to the gym tomorrow and do the exact same thing they've always done. They'll load up the bar with too much weight. They'll pull with their arms, and they'll wonder why nothing changes. Don't be like most people. Next time you train back, start with straight arm pull downs. 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps with light weight. Just focus on feeling your lats contract. That's your warm-up and your technique practice rolled into one. Then move on to chest-supported rows or pull-up negatives. Leave your ego at the door and actually build your back. Your back doesn't suck. Your pulling does. Fix the pull. Fix your back. The muscles are already there, waiting to grow. They've been waiting this whole time. You just need to learn how to actually use them. Stop bending your arms and hoping your back gets the message. Start pulling with your elbows. Feel that stretch at the bottom. Squeeze those shoulder blades together at the top, and watch what happens over the next 3 months. This isn't complicated. It's just different from what you've been doing. And different is exactly what you need.